Oke. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Waalaikumsalam
wabarakatuh.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay. Today we are attending a research seminar of research proposal by Atika Hapsari. Her title is Improving Students Writing Descriptive Text by Using Animated Cartoon. First of all, let me introduce the board of today's seminar. My name is Rido Winarto, and I will be serving as your moderator today. The first discussion is Feni Agus Kurniati. The second discussion is Muslim Darmawan, and Rini Nuraini will be serving as the note taker. And the sequence of today's seminar consists of: first, opening by the moderator; second, the presentation of the research proposal for 15 minutes; the third is the discussion session for 10 minutes for each discussion, and the last will be closing by the moderator. And along today's seminar, I will remind you about the time of each sequence. Okay, without any further ado, I declare that today's seminar is officially open. And to Atika Hapsari, the time is yours for presenting your proposal.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, everyone.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening.
Okay, thanks for the occasion, Mr. Rido. So here, my name is Hapsari. As the presenter today, I would like to present my research proposal entitled Improving Students Writing Descriptive Text by Using Animated Cartoon. It is a classroom action research on in-grade student of MTSN 2 Pontianak in academic year 2020 and 2021. Okay, for the background, in language learning, writing is a productive skill. It produces idea and knowledge as a kind communication in written form. Nowadays, English play an important role in education, and students are expected to communicate in institution. In teaching learning activity at school, the students need to record the teacher explanation, do assignment, and make summary and paragraph or essay by writing. Writing is part of four language skill that the students have to be comprehend. In writing skills, students will be able to express their idea and knowledge in a good written form. Besides, the students are also required to write type of text. So in written text, the student must be focused on the certain pattern, vocabulary, mechanic, and the way to organize the idea with the appropriate supporting details. So the writing will be accurate and easy to understand. In this research, the researchers take at NIM grade of MTSN 2 Pontianak, which located in Jalan Profesor M. Yamin, Sungai Bangkong, Kota Pontianak. Based on the researcher interview on observation by looking the activity learning in the classroom, the researchers found that the student has low motivation in writing. The problem also still faced by the students, where some students are not able to describe a place or particular things. They get bored during the classroom activity and get the low scores. The type of text learned by the students at NIN grade is descriptive text. So descriptive text is a text that which say what a particular person it is purpose to describe a particular person, place, or thing. Based on those problems, the researcher should use one motivation that will help students more interest in on writing class. Using animated cartoon in teaching descriptive text is one of visual aid that can be used in writing class. It makes lesson more fun and also can be used to create situation writing classes more clear and give the student big enthusiasm in teaching learning process in the class. So we are going to the research gap. The other research conducted by Rizky Ananto 2011 and 2012 at SMP Negeri 2 Klego on his research entitled Improving Students' Skill in Writing Narrative Text Through Animated Movie. The results show that the use of animated movie can improve students' writing skill and class situation. And the research question, how does animated cartoon improve students' writing descriptive text? And the purpose of this research is to find out the improvement of using animated cartoon in teaching writing descriptive text for grade student at MTSN 2 Pontianak in academic year 2020 and 2021. And for the research significant, for the teacher, the researcher hopefully can help the English teacher in MTSN 2 Pontianak to provide a technique which useful in the teaching writing. And for students, the researcher hope can help the students to learning writing in joyful at atmosphere. For the researcher, the result of the study can be used as the reference for the other researchers. And for the terminology in teaching writing process, a classroom action research in this method that aim to solve the problem in the classroom. In this research, the researcher will use animated cartoon as a media to motivate students to improve writing skill. And is a writing is a skill to express the idea, and animated cartoon is an alternative media that can be used for the teaching writing at school. And MTSN 2 Pontianak is junior high school which located in Jalan Profesor M. Yamin, Sungai Bangkong, Kota Pontianak. For the literature review, according to Sokolik, as cited in Lins and Noonan, point of that writing is combination of writing and product. The process refers to act of gathering ideas and working with them until they are presented in a manner that polished and comprehensible to the readers. The process began by thinking about what is going to be written or choosing the topic and collecting ideas both formally and informally. The final step is publish. It means that to put it into a form which can be normally shared to others. A writer has to concern about the aspect of writing, namely content, grammatical use, and mechanical considerations such as spelling and punctuation. For frame of concept, based on the theory, process of writing begins by thinking what is going to be written or choosing the topic and collecting the ideas both formally and informally. Therefore, the teacher should have one of media to motivate students in writing. This classroom action study was concerned with the teaching writing skill by using two kinds of tests: initial reflection pre-test and reflection or post-test. Initial reflection was intended to evaluate pre-existing writing skill while reflection, which has administered at the end of each session, was meant to reveal an expected increase that student writing achievement after they have been taught in writing. And the methodology, research design, the research design in this research is classroom exit research. It use of a collection of the pretest post-test research design. This classroom exit study was concerned with teaching writing skill by using two kinds of tests: initial reflection and reflection or post-test. Initial reflection was intended to evaluate and the pre-existing writing skill, while reflection. And in conducting classroom action research, there are 4 steps that the researchers need to be considered as a follow. The first is planning, the second action, the third observation, and the fourth reflection. In research subject, the subject of the study, the grad students at MTSN 2 Pontianak, it is located Jalan Profesor M. Yamin, Sungai Bangkong, Pontianak. There were 6 classes of grad students of MTSN 2 Pontianak, with the total number of the students were 220. The students of class 9B, NIN-B, which consists of 35 students, were selected as the subject of this study. In the role of researcher in this research, the researcher acts as the teacher before the teaching. The teaching learning, the researcher will prepare the lesson plan and learning material and explore that has been prepared. And at the end, the researcher will reflect on the result. For the technique of data collection, the writer used observation and the measurement technique. The observation technique will be applied using observation checklist as a way to recognize student improvement over the writing skill, descriptive text with animated cartoon, while the measurement technique will be implemented through the test to know the student's progress over the writing. For the tools of data collection, the researchers use observation, checklist, and the field map. And the procedure, the researcher will explain about descriptive text, then the researcher will demonstrate how to describe a particular things in the animated cartoon. The researcher will ask some students to mention what kind of things in the animated cartoon, while the students mention things. Then the researcher will ask them to write minimum 5 sentences. After that, the researcher asks them to read what they write. Technique of data analysis. There were 3 kinds of instrument used to gather the data of this classroom action research. There were pretest, post-test, and questionnaires. Thus, the data required to answer the research question were gathered through administrating pretest, post-test, and questionnaire to the grad students of MTSN 2 Pontianak. And here for the bibliography references. And for the appendix, the researcher used the lesson plan, descriptive text, and animated cartoon, so observation checklist. I think that's all for my presentation. Thanks for your good attention. I will give to the moderator.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Atika Hapsari, for the presentation. As Atika Hapsari has closed the presentation, now we proceed to the next session, which is the discussion session. And for the first session, will be the first discussion. Muslim Darmawan, the time is yours.
Sorry, Mr. Dewinarto, I am asked the second discussion actually. The first discussion is Penny Agus Kurniati.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, the first discussion, Ferni Agus Kurniati, the time is yours for question and answer session.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
for the moderator to has give me an opportunity to share my comment, suggestion, and question for the presenter today. For Atika Hapsari, you do good presentation. Now I will give feedback for you. Okay, I will share my comments and suggestion. First, in the research title, you write descriptive text using plural in the word text. So pay attention in your grammar sentence. In your grammar sentence. So it's not using plural, right? In the cover, you write that without plural. It's true, but in the research title, you write that you mistake you do a mistake. Okay, next in research background, first paragraph you do a typo in word important, and then in this background you didn't explain what kind of curriculum that school use. And then in research problem, I suggest you to make it brief in the first sentence because that unnecessary. This is the one of example. Based on the research background above, the question of this research is blah blah blah. So in the research problem, you write it too long. And then in terminology, you need to change the first sentence because that's unreadable. So terminology is such as a keyword, keyword term from the research title to avoid misunderstanding and misinterpreting of any terms used in classroom Asian research. But you write it out of topic, so you need to revise it. And then in theoretical framework, you didn't explain about what is descriptive text and what is animated cartoon itself. You only explain about writing because in theoretical framework, it's important to put that literature review. Then pay attention your punctuation. There are several full stop. You write using question marks. I think you do typos, so be careful. And then in research design, it's still unclear whether you do experimental or car design. Pre-test and post-test is to conduct experimental design. In the role of the researcher, you can put that paragraph in the stage of car. Then in data analysis, you are not allowed to use pretest and post-test in car design. If you conduct some exercise, you can change it into writing text. Also, it's important for you to put formula to know that the results turning descriptive text using animated cartoon. Then in frame of theory, you can include information related to problems and types of design you are going to apply here in brief. Then in techniques and tools of data collecting, you need to explain more how to use that techniques, and tools and for what. Also, this is the last. You should learn more about APA 6th edition in your references. You are not following APA 6th edition. So it's important for you to revise it. Okay, that's last for my comments and suggestion. Next, we move to question. Okay, I have two questions for you. First, why you using pretest and post-test to conduct this research while you will conduct classroom action research? And then second question, in this search background, you say that the English teacher of MTSN Pontianak has tried to teach them with giving pictures. This technique was implemented by teacher and then asked them to describe and mention a particular things. During the teaching and learning activity, if the teacher tried to teach them, the fact some students still can't. They get bored during the classroom activity and got low scores. When I read your appendixes in lesson plan, I thought that you do the same thing like the teacher you observe in that school, because you also give pictures to the students to describe about their pictures. So how you differentiate your technique between the English teacher you observe in that classroom or in that school? Okay, that's all from my comment, suggestion, and question. Next, I will give back to moderator.
Okay, thank you very much, Penny, for the comment and the question. I hope we, I'm I will more pay attention about my research proposal. And now I will try to answer your question. For the first question, in the background I put the research gap that was conducted by Kia Martono. So here I think the pretest and post-test can be used for the classroom action research too, because the research gap my background conducted a research design conducted car design. So that's why I think it's fine to if I use the pretest or post test. It is clear, Penny? And for the second, for the question, clear. This Penny, don't you hear me?
Sorry, suara hilang.
Hello. I will try to answer your the first question. Background, I put the research gap that was conducted by Dwi Ananto Martono. So here, I think the pretest and post-test can be used for the classroom action research too, because the previous study in my background also conduct classroom action research, and he 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 used to pretest and post-test. It is clear, Penny? It is clear, Penny? It is clear?
I think you can continue first.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. And for the second question, here I will explain about descriptive text, and then how I will demonstrate how to describe a particular things in animated cartoon. I will give them the animated cartoon, like SpongeBob's. I will try to this do give the explanation about the text, and I will give them some example like SpongeBob's, and they will try to describe it into It is clear, Fanny?
Also, so for your technique, you use like all the all the sample is using
Yeah,
only the cartoon picture like that.
yes.
Okay,
Okay.
clear. Thank you
Yes.
for your questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Fanny.
Okay.
Okay, for the presenter, do you want to add some, or maybe for the first discussion, if you want to give additional comment or additional question, we still have 1 minute left. If no, then we can proceed to the second discussion. Okay, I would like to remind you for the second discussion, the time is 10 minutes, just like the first discussion. Okay, without any further ado, the second discussion, Muslim Dharmawan, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity that was given to me, Ritu Winarto, and good evening, Atika Hapsari.
Good evening.
Okay, firstly, I would like to say congratulations for your presentation. It's actually good, and I really appreciate it. But now I will go on to deliver you my comment, suggestion, and also question related to your research proposal. So the first is you did a typo in writing your subtitle in heading A. You write 9 with H where it should be right without H. And the next one is please be consistent in writing your page number. Actually, the position for page 1 is different with another number if you can take a look on your proposal. Please, I suggest you to revise it. And the next one is on your research background. You did a typo also. As one of the typos is already mentioned by Penny, you write important without R. And the other one is you write English with small a, where it should be right in capital A. And for the sentence, in your research background, as you can see, you said the problem still faced by the student where some students were not able to describe place, comma, or things. I suggest you to change the sentence into the problem still faced by students such as were not able to describe place and things. So you didn't need to put comma after the word place because it's only separate two sentences where it is appropriate to use and then or. Okay, the next one is I also find some sentence structure mistake in your background. For example, you write student has where it should be write student have. Also, a particular things where it should be write a particular things without s, and a low score should be write low scores because you put plural in score, so you did not need to put the terminer a. And for the citation in page 2 for Harmer 2001 in page 282, I suggest you to put the word according to before you write the citation to make it better. Okay, I will continue. For your previous study, so you did not need to put the researcher full name, and also you did not need to put the title of the study. Actually, you just need to mention about the results of the study. And also for your first previous study, you need to write student in a student with comma after t, comma in the upper. And Also, still on your previous study, I suggest you to put more than one previous study since ma'am we also remind us to at least put two previous study. And in your research background, still in your research background, you forgot to put some preposition. For example, in the sentence, the focus on this research is to making the student able. So in this one, you need to put preposition to because you did not put the preposition in this one. So the sentence based on my point of view, it should be the focus on this research is making the student able to express their idea in written form by language variation in the form of descriptive text. Okay, I will continue to the next one. It is about your research question for heading C. So I suggest you to change the research problem into research question because the research question is more familiar than research problem. And please be aware on writing because sometimes you use double spacing to separate some words. And also, and in your research question or research purpose, I suggest you to change because because these two of hearings, research question and research purpose, need to be coherent each other. So if you mention the question, the research purpose also need to same as the research question. Okay. In your research significant, actually, I suggest you to give it more explanation on your research significant since you only write one sentences in your research significance. And also pay attention more in part researcher because you separate two sentences that should be written in a sentence as you can see in your proposal in your research significant. The word after wants to you put full stop on that, but on the next space you put have a further study on similar topic. So I think that the sentence is in one sentence actually. Okay, may I go on to my to give my comment and suggestion in your terminology. So I suggest you to explain more about terms writing and animated cartoon based on your study. So it is need to be more specific only on your study. Don't make it please don't make it too general. And also I suggest you to give explanation about descriptive text since you use descriptive text as the text that you will use on this study. And also in your citation for Sokolik in Linz and Nunan 2005. So based on my point of view, you should write the citation into Sokolik as as cited in Linz and Nunan 2005. You need to write as cited in front of the name of the second authors and the years. And the next one is in your theoretical framework, you did some typos. For example, you wrote accordance where where it should be right accordance. And the next, in your writing citation, please be consistent because you use and, but also you use the symbol and like this to write the citation for two authors in one study. So actually based on APA 6A edition guideline, we you need to use N. Don't use don't use the symbol to indicate the citation that already write by two authors. And also pay attention on using punctuation as Penny already said before. You use the the question marks in page 5, but still continue to write the sentences. So I think it is typo. So please revise it and pay more attention on using page number. The real number and the page number you write in the table of contents sometimes was different. So please revise it also. And in frame of concept heading, you put double E in as your heading. So I suggest you also to revise it. And for your research design, it will be better if you put diagram or table of classroom action research tab, because you did not mention any diagram or table of classroom action research. And also, you don't need to write classroom action research with C capital. And I suggest you to revise part technique and tools of data collection. First, you need to change collecting into collection. Second, it will be better if you made subheading to explain about technique and tools that you use to collect the data. Lastly, please pay attention more about please pay attention more because you did not write the field note in your technique of data collecting, while you mentioned to use field note in your tools of data collecting. So this is also same case for the test actually, as you can see on your techniques and tool of data collecting parts. And in addition, also you also did a typo in this part. You write process without R. And heading bibliography should be right in the middle actually. You write it in the left behind, in the left position. And please pay more attention on writing bibliography. In my point of view, you did not follow the rules of APA 6th edition. It will be better to revise it since Penny Agus Kurniati also mentioned about this one. And in your lesson plan, it will be better if you also mention the source of the text that you use, since you did not mention any source for the text you use in your lesson plan. And also pay more attention on criteria for scoring rubric. To be honest, I get confused about the criteria that you deliver on this table. As you can see on the table, actually, I suggest you to revise the table. And last but not least, my suggestion in your appendix 5, you use an image to show your pill note. So based on my point of view, if you adapted the pill note from the others, you did not to mention the author. But if you made this pill note based on your ideas, I think it will be better if you made the table in Word rather than put image on it. So I think that's all about my comment and suggestion. The next one, I will be continue to my question. I actually have 5 questions, but since the one of the question already asked by Fanny, I will only ask you about for the first for the fourth question. The first one, what is actually the research gap of this research? Two, why you only focus on writing in your theoretical framework. So based on my point of view, you also need to explain about teaching writing EFL context, animated cartoon, and also the descriptive text. And the third one, the role of the researcher in the study is teacher, right? So in a situation, if you are not allowed to get the permission to teach the student in the class, how would you take an action to overcome this situation? And last question, what technique did you use to analyze your data? So I think that's all from me. I'm sorry if I made uh, over time to explain about my comment, suggestion, and question. The next one, I will be back it to the moderator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the second discussion, Muslim Darmawan. Now we can proceed and listen to the response from the presenter. Atika Hapsari, the time is yours.
Thank you very much, Muslim, for the comment and suggestion. I promise I will pay more attention in my writing. I realize it is very much mistakes in writing, yeah, I will revise it too. I will answer your question. I will try to answer. Uh, in my opinion, actually, the research gap in my proposal with the previous study is focused to improve the class situation and make student interest in the classroom, in the writing class. So for the second, thanks, thank you very much for remind me about the terminology. I'm sorry why I just put the writing because I think the my focus is about writing. Yeah, after this I will revise and I will explain more about descriptive or and add more about animated cartoon as my as my title too. And the third for this one, I ever I ever read the research with the same title and the same research study. I read that she used the personal evaluation to conduct the research. That's why she get get permission to be yes play the action as she is the teacher. Yeah, I think I will. Actually, I'm really still get confused about car. So I think the use personal evaluation can get the permit to take the action. And the last, I'm sorry for my mistake. I don't add and explain more my technique to analyze the data. So yeah, I think later I will reply and put to my proposal. Okay, it is clear, Muslim.
Alright, I think is it clear, but maybe I want to add some things from your answer.
Yeah.
May I add some note on her answer, moderator?
How, moderator?
I'm really sorry for the second discussion, but you have spent your time on your first session.
Okay, maybe I will tell her about the response of the answer after this session.
Okay.
Okay, thank you,
Okay,
moderator.
you're
Thank you very
welcome.
much, Muslim.
Okay, thank you, Atika.
Okay, as the second discussion has given the question and suggestion to the presenter, now the question and answer session is closed. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to the last part of this seminar is about the closing. Okay, as the discussion session has over, it marks that our today's seminar has over. So I declare that this seminar is officially closed. Thank you very much for your kind attention and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.